Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Paikin. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Studio 2.
They block down and kick out on the end, and then the speed of Ricky Williams.
The Argos' Ricky Williams. No ordinary superstar.
I think that if most parents knew more about professional athletes, they probably wouldn't want their kids to look up to them.
He may be one of the best running backs ever to play in the National Football League, a former Heisman Trophy winner and now a member of the Toronto Argonauts. Even if you don't watch football, you've probably heard about Ricky Williams. He's serving a one-year suspension from the NFL after failing 4 drug tests. He's staying in top football form by playing with the Argos this year, but that's not his only reason for coming north. He's also here to teach yoga classes. I caught up with Ricky Williams to talk about drugs, football, and his very unconventional outlook on life at the Argos practice site at the University of Toronto in Mississauga. Ricky, I know you're sick. Well, I shouldn't say I know you're sick to death. I assume you're sick to death about talking about the failed drug tests. Do you mind talking about the drugs?
I'm not tired of talking about it. I actually haven't even talked about it that much.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, I am curious. The 3 failed tests, the first 3 failed tests were for marijuana use. The 4th one, they never said what it was for. Do you know what it was for?
I wonder why they never said what it was for.
I don't know. Do you know what it was for?
Yeah, I know what it was for.
Can you say?
We have a confidentiality in the NFL with the substance abuse program, so I'm not really supposed to talk about it. And you know, when I failed the last test, I made a statement in the media that I didn't agree with the decision, but I have to respect it. And so by talking about it, it's going back on my word.
But presumably it wasn't marijuana, it was something different.
Definitely was not marijuana. Yeah.
Was it something related to your, you know, I'm a reporter, I'm not going to let it go.
I just answered the question already, so you can keep talking about it, but you're not going to get an answer.
You've said what you've said.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel an obligation to be a role model?
An obligation to be a role model? No. I don't really feel obligated to do anything, you know? But that's just me, though. I think, you know, I think when we all turn inside, we all have things that are important to us. And so, you know, you just live life and try to take care of the things that you need to take care of. Can you appreciate why an answer like that would drive a coach crazy? Someone who says, I don't feel an obligation to do anything. Well, no, I mean, well, you have to look at the word obligation. I mean, when people use words, they're not necessarily sure what those words really mean. And words are like symbols, you know, a word that I say and a word that you say aren't going to mean the same thing to both of us. So if you understand the context of why I say that, then I think a coach would be able to respect that more than be frustrated with it. Okay, let's take out the word obligation. Do you feel that a part of being a professional athlete is the notion that you are a role model to younger people? Well, I think that if most parents knew more about professional athletes, they probably wouldn't want their kids to look up to them. Why is that? Well, because you have to understand, when you admire someone, you in essence you download their thoughts, you know. And playing football isn't for everyone. It takes a special kind of person, special kind of attitude, kind of a warrior, you know, mindset. And I think that you know, the things that we have to go through, the pain that we have to deal with, the stuff that we have to go through is very difficult. And I think a parent wouldn't want their kids to go through those things. You are a soft-spoken guy for a warrior. Do you think you are a warrior? Well, I think the good warriors are the soft-spoken ones. You know, if you're always outspoken, then the opposing team or whatever, they know your game plan, they know where you're coming from. But the one who keeps to himself, you know, he's got more of the surprise element working for him. So if obligation, then, going back to that, is not the right word, what do you feel you owe your fans, particularly younger ones? Outside of what I owe myself? Well, I don't think I owe anyone anything except just I owe myself to be the best person I can be. And that's the only way that anyone's going to be able to get anything beneficial from me. And I think when you have your attention on people that are outside, you know, even if it's your kids or your wife or your mother or anything outside, I think you're kind of missing the point. But if you turn your energy inwards and you try to be the best person you can be, then everyone can benefit from that. But is there an implicit agreement that you make with the fans? The fans pay your salary, therefore you owe them what? To be the best person that I can be. that's what they're paying for.
On and off the field?
That's what they're paying for, to be the best person, me to be the best person that I can be. There's really nothing outside of that.
See, I find that an interesting answer because you didn't say, my obligation is to score as many touchdowns and carry for the ball as many yards as possible. You say the best person I can be.
Well, being the best person I can be, all that other stuff is implicit inside of it. I mean, you can't be good at anything until you're good on the inside, and if you are, it's just temporary, and it's not real.
Okay. Let's talk some football. Biggest adjustment you're finding, CFL versus NFL?
Biggest adjustment is that is the atmosphere. In the NFL, there's so much energy put into preparation, and it's like the military. You know, it's like you don't have any choice but to work hard and do stuff. And here, it's because it's so much more laid back, and there's less time spent on football that you have to take the initiative yourself to make sure that you're ready to play every week.
Which system do you prefer?
It is what it is. I mean, having preferences only gets you in trouble.
But, you know, presumably, you're the kind of guy, given your personality, who would find this approach easier to deal with than the approach south of the border. Is that fair to say?
No.
Not necessarily?
No, not at all.
Do you prefer the kind of rah-rah, get in your face, scream 2 inches away from your ear kind of a coach, or the opposite?
Like I said, I live my life without trying not to have preferences, because in life you don't always get to choose what's in front of you, and if you have preferences, it means that things that you like, you must dislike the opposite. And so when you try to find the middle ground and learn to accept everything for what it is, then you don't have to swing back and forth.
But you chose to be here, right? You didn't have to play here.
Right. I didn't have to do anything.
You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
What was it about this situation that you found appealing?
Even to say that situation is appealing, you know? Like I said, if you live life without having preferences, then it's not about what's appealing or what's not appealing. You know, you just stay open. You know, if something feels good, you do it.
Does that include drug use?
Well, yeah, it includes everything. You know, and at one time, using drugs felt good to me, and now it doesn't, so that's why I don't do it anymore. I think, you know, to sit here and to tell kids don't do drugs and not explain to them why or help them understand why they use drugs is kind of a waste of time.
What's changed in your life so that you don't need to do them anymore?
It's changed in my life. I just understand. It's just, you know, when you're a kid, you know, and you have a pacifier and you have a bottle and you wear diapers, and it gets to a point where you outgrow those things. And can you really say what changes in a kid's life? You just outgrow those things. It's just called maturity.
Okay, again, some X's and O's. I can remember Vince Ferragamo coming up here from the National Football League, playing with the Montreal Alouettes, having a phone conversation with his dad one night and saying, I don't know what it is, Dad, but it's not football. He just couldn't get used to 3 downs and a 12th guy on the field and 10 extra yards on the field and end zones twice as big. It just wasn't the same for him. How's that adjustment going for you?
Well, again, for him, his attention was turned outwards. You know, when you turn your attention inwards, you just see, how can I get better? What can I do to make myself better? And that's all that really comes down to. You know, anyone who has any success in anything is because they spend their energy trying to get better. It doesn't matter if it's easier or harder, they just keep on working to try to get better.
Have you ever met a coach like Pinball Clemens before?
No.
Hope things improve.
Oh, they always do. They always do. Yes, yes.
What's different about him?
A lot of things are different about him. I just think, you know, in the NFL it's different. You know, everything is about the job and about winning. And here, winning is important, but I think the way that Pinner looks at it, you know, he just likes to be around good people. He likes positive energy, and he generates that. So here you come, and it's more about relaxing, having a good time, and winning is just a side effect of that.
Has he ever had a conversation with you that went something like, here's what I expect from you, here's what you can expect from us, that kind of a thing?
Well, I think just the way he is, you know, he's so open that he doesn't ever have to have that conversation. It's just the way he presents himself. You know what he expects from you, and when you do something that he doesn't expect from you, when you do something out of line, then he can look at you or could say a couple of things to you, and you understand that you're out of line. But he's an open guy, and pretty much everyone here knows what he expects. And they know that we have to work hard, and we have to be on time, and we have to do things the right way, but also we're going to have fun.
You came here under such unusual circumstances. How difficult was it to sort of get the respect of your teammates and fit into the team?
Well, I don't understand when you say unusual. It's unusual for you, but it's not unusual for me. I mean, I can't say anything in my life that has necessarily been usual. So for me, it's just what it is.
It's unusual for us to have a superstar American running back leave the National Football League and come up here. It's happened before, but it's unusual.
Right. But it's not unusual for me, you know?
Right.
Still here, still me, you know?
You say it's still me, but you purposely didn't wear the number you're wearing in Miami here in Toronto.
It's just a number that's not me, though. And this, like you talk about, people don't see people as people, and that's kind of what you're doing now. And I understand it's difficult to do, but it's just a number, you know? It's just a number on a shirt.
I hear you, but people look for, people who don't know you look for outward signs of he's the same guy, he's a different guy. The number, you wore 34 down there, you're 27 up here, is the most obvious manifestation that there's something different about the guy.
Well, it's just a jersey.
But you chose not to wear 34 for a reason.
Well, I chose to wear 27.
Okay. Fresh start, was that part of it, or what was the thinking there?
I just wanted to wear 27. I mean, there was no thinking. I just wanted to wear 27 for a long time, and I finally had the opportunity to do it, so I took advantage of it.
Does the number have significance?
I mean, it's a number that I put on my jersey. It's just a number.
Well, you know, Roger Clemens wanted to wear 21 as long as he could. There was a reason. Do you have a particular reason for 27?
Like I said, I try to spend most of my energy turning inward to not worrying about outward stuff so much.
Ricky, I've heard you describe yourself as a Venus athlete. What does that mean?
What does it mean? Well, you have to know something about Venus to know what it means.
Goddess of love?
Well, it's a little more complex than that. Mm-hmm. And I was having a conversation, and I was talking about the planets represent, what's a good word? I guess attitudes, you know, and I was describing like a Mars attitude is something that's very outward, you know, like a Mars person is the person in class that talks the loudest, you know, you can always pick them out. They usually have a temper. And then a Saturn athlete is someone who just works hard. You know, they're very humble and they just work. They just work no matter what. They value work. They become workaholics. And a Venus person is someone who just usually very happy. They love to enjoy themselves, and they have artist. Like Venus rules art, an expression of art. And I just think when I'm out here, it's I take pride in what I do. Venus represents pride. I take pride in what I do, and I try to have a good time.
Are you having a good time?
I'm motivated by the art of football.
Understood. Some people might find that unusual because football doesn't appear to be artistic. It appears to be brutally violent. Can you help us on that?
Well, if you don't play football, then you wouldn't have the ability to know what football is about.
But what is the artistic side of the game that you see that maybe others don't?
You couldn't see it unless you played the game. So if anyone wants to see the art in football, they need to go play football.
Are you enjoying playing up here?
Am I enjoying? This is an interesting question. What does that mean? Am I not enjoying myself? I mean, I'm not miserable. You know, I get up in the morning and I have a smile on my face, and I come to work and I do my best. So I have to say that I'm enjoying myself. You know, I think when I hear that question, another thing about being a role model is you ask that question, and if your kids only do things that they enjoy, then they're not going to do really well in school, and they're not going to be good people necessarily. So
there is part of this experience that involves not necessarily doing what you want when you want, that makes you a better person.
Well, that's life. That's everything in life. If you always only do what you want, then you're not going to be a very happy person.
But that's our impression of professional athletes, is that they, more than anybody in society, don't have to do any of that.
Well, they don't have to. That's what makes it harder for us. You know, I think, you know, when you have a job where you have to do things that you don't want all the time, and people are tougher on you and they don't give you as much leeway, then it's easier to stay in line because, you know, you have support. But in being an athlete, people don't support discipline in athletes except on the field. They almost want us to expect us to be undisciplined when we're not on the football field.
So if you weren't here playing football right now in Toronto, what would you be doing?
I'd be teaching yoga.
Full-time?
Full-time.
Interesting. Ricky, you're a very different cat. I guess people tell you that all the time.
I'm different. Different from who?
Different from everybody else.
I think I'm not different. I think that everyone else is just always trying to be something that they're not. And anyone who can find themselves and be themselves is going to be perceived as being different. Because we're all different, you know? You can just look at people and see that they're different.
Is it important to you to win a Grey Cup championship this year?
It's important. It's important for me to come out here and try to get better every day. And if the Grey Cup is what I get from that, then it's just a side effect. I mean, one thing that I try to teach people, especially my children, is not to do things for a result. You know, to do them because it's the right thing to do, is because it's what they feel is right. But if you're always looking for a result, then it takes away from the moment.
And just finally, for the 99.9% of the people watching this right now who did not play professional football, can you tell me what you love about it?
Well, what does it matter? I mean, I think
Because we're living vicariously through all of you people who get to play professional sports.
well, I think that's a misconception. I think the reason that people enjoy sports is because it's a group of people that push themselves, you know, beyond the limit. And I think if people could find that energy and that power inside of themselves, then they would have no need to watch sports.
But there's no other outlet like it in society that gives you the same kind of highs or lows or... I mean, that's why we watch it, right?
Again, that's incorrect. I mean, if you learn how to cut grass in the right attitude, then you can get the same kind of high you get from football and cutting the grass.
Ricky, I don't believe that.
Well, it's true. It's
There's
true.
no way cutting the grass is as exciting as hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy or the Stanley Cup. Can't be true.
It's all about the kind of pride you take in what you do. And because football, you have so many people supporting you and so many people watching you, it's a little bit easier to take pride in what you're doing. But it's hard to take pride in cutting the grass. Usually people, you know, your wife says cut the grass and you really procrastinate, you don't really feel like doing it. But if you could approach it the same way that we approach football, then you'd get the same thing back from it.
At the risk of having this not come out right, thank you for doing this interview. I've found it most illuminating, and I hope you enjoy yourself here in Toronto.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
You are a most interesting guy. You really are. Thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you.